London, we welcome you to Border Crossings. And joining us today, we have a rock and roll star in the house. Shinedown is a band that's working on its 7th album right now. We've got the guy that put the band together back late 2000, early 2001 when they put out their debut album. Since that time, they have scored 15, which is more alternative rock chart hits than number ones than any other band in rock music history. 15 number one songs on the alternative rock charts. We'd like to welcome the lead singer of Shinedown, Brent Smith. It's great to have you with us.
It's my pleasure, man. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to talk to me.
It's a pleasure to have you here on the show. All of the rock and rollers around the world in 100 countries, 270 million listeners. They all, of course, know your name, know your voice, and now they're going to get to learn a little bit more about who is Brent Smith. Now, you picked an interesting time to release the debut album. I think it was 2001, which was a time that our country was going through a crisis. September 11th, the 20th anniversary is here. Yeah. And so that's kind of an interesting time to begin your way down this long journey, which now is at 6 albums, soon to be 7.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that was when that occurred, a lot of that you're absolutely right. That was a very interesting time. I remember I was on a plane 2 days after 9/11.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I remember there was this very interesting through tragedy, but there was all of a sudden, like everybody on the plane, like there was a camaraderie with everyone too. Just like, one of those things where Americans they weren't very united, and all of a sudden America was really united. And, we got to get back to that. And that's really the priority, more than anything. But yeah, man, like our first single though was a song called Fly From the Inside. It was about perseverance. It was about like, literally the line in the song is very kind of, now it's iconic to a lot of people. Like I found a way to steal the sun from the sky. Long live that day that I decided to fly from the inside. What fly from the inside means believing in yourself, realizing that, yes, failure is not an option, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be defined by your failures. It's about the idea of going after something, even if you do fail, because the failure will it will teach you what to do next time, but you're not going to be defined by your failures. You're going to be defined by the fact that you refuse to give up, which is kind of the symbolic tone that we take in all of our songs. It's about just, we try to give as much strength to the listener as possible.
It sounds like you're really passionate about lyrics and about songwriting. So I wanted to ask, where's the most interesting or unique place that you've ever gotten inspiration for a song, that you ever said, I got this song in my head, I don't want to lose it?
You know what, man? Probably one of the more current songs, it was interesting when me and Eric wrote the song Get Up, which is on the album Attention, Attention, because that was really the song for Attention that made the decision that it was going to be a conceptual piece of work, that it was going to be a story, that it tied together. But the unique thing about it is Eric had played me the piano part in the studio, and I knew I knew immediately what I was going to write it about, and I was going to write it about Eric. And the thing is that Eric, he deals with something called clinical depression. And this isn't something where it's a case of the Mondays and you might be a little blue after the weekend or what have you, you shrug it off, you're fine by the end of the day. It's definitely something that has finally in the public eye not being scrutinized as much as it, was over the last decade. A lot of times people think, when people are sad or they're depressed or they're trying to figure it out, people will sometimes look at them and be like, get over it, deal with it. That's life. Get over yourself. And that's not the case a lot of times. There's something else going on up here. And we don't think that people should be embarrassed by asking for help. I think the worst thing you can do when you know somebody in your life, whether they're a friend, a family, even a perfect stranger, if you see something wrong, the worst thing that you could do is be quiet. You know what I mean? I appreciate the fact that you would go this deep into this. But Eric was the strength in this project, because Eric was like, well, if we're going to go this far and we're going to be this honest, then we have to go all the way. And that's when we wrote Get Up. That's when Devil came. That's when Monsters came. That's when Dark Side came. That's when like the album then all of a sudden started to present itself. So probably Get Up, at least in the last couple of years, that's been one of those very like life-defining moments.
Well, you know, I really find it refreshing, I guess is maybe not the best word, but I find it inspiring that people in your business, people in the show business world, entertainment, who used to be very protective and very insular and very quiet about their own personal struggles, you have spoken openly, your own addictions, your other band members, songs, things like that. And you're using this platform to help other people through their struggles, to let them know that, you know, they're human, you're human, you've experienced similar things, and use your platform to give advice and motivation and things like that. I think that's fantastic, because, you know, there's so much talk now about mental health issues that never was. It was always pushed under the carpet. And we've got other social issues, Black Lives Matter and things like that, that has come to the forefront of our culture. So that's just, you know, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. That's, as a journalist, as a, you know, broadcaster, it really is refreshing to see.
I don't want people to be embarrassed. Like, I don't want them to be ashamed either. You know, I mean, look, we all struggle. We all need help. Like, none of us are, you know, invincible. And not only mind, body, and soul, but, you know, we need each other. I've often said human beings, I think we're at our best when we need each other. And I think this time in human history, very much so now, we really need each other. And I appreciate you saying that, but thank you also for the support and talking about the band and giving us a platform to be ourselves and to speak our mind, because it works both ways. So thank you for, you know, allowing me to talk about it. But it really does come down from a human expression. We don't want people to be desensitized to each other, and we want each other to give each other confidence and lift each other up. It's about finding solutions to the problems and figuring out how we can compromise and how we can move forward as a society. But at the end of the day, man, we don't want people to feel embarrassed about those things. It's okay. You're human.
And so speaking of challenges, you're in a hotel room now going on 11 months?
Back and forth 11 months. I'm on the road 280 days out of the year, so I'm racking up a lot of points with Marriott. So, yeah, I live a hotel life. Like on Instagram, you know, I'm always hashtagging hotel life and hotel gym, hotel workouts, stuff like that. You know, I lived in California from 2011 to 2016. And of the time that I lived there, of the 5-6 years that I lived there, I think I was inside the house maybe 8 months. And it was just one of those things where I've just never really been a homebody, if you will, because it's always been, for me, I'm the one guy in the band that is constantly mobile. And there is freedom to that, because I'm constantly, not only, there's the artistry and the creativity part of what I do, but this is also a business. And a lot of people, like younger people, will ask me about those types of things in the industry. You know, what's some of the advice? Well, the biggest advice I have for them is point blank, you know, write a lot of songs and then keep writing a lot of songs, because it's the creativity is what matters. The songs are what is important. But, you know, there's a business side to this that I started to learn, you know, over 20 years ago, to keep my eyes and my ears open and my mouth shut until I knew exactly what I was going to say. And I've had a lot of great teachers, but for me in the band, I've always kind of been the guy that can move on a dime when I got to go and when we got to get things going. I kind of lead the charge to that. So it's kind of just the life I know.
And as a lyricist, as a songwriter, that can be therapeutic as well. You know, I mean, it's
100%. Yeah, I attempt to, no matter what, I try to write at least 10 pages a day.
Wow.
Just to make sure that I'm keeping this, you know, going. You know, your brain is a muscle too.
Right.
So
right.
you gotta use it. So I try to, and it can be nothing that I'm writing. You know, I can just be like random thoughts or what have you. And then sometimes, you know, I pull from everything around me too. Like a lot of the lyrical style of what we do, unless we're commissioned for a film or a project or something of that nature. Like when we worked with Sylvester Stallone on the Expendables film, he knew kind of exactly what kind of a song he wanted and things of that nature. And he was really forthcoming with that. So he helped us write Boomlay and Diamond Eyes. But for what we do, I can't necessarily pull it out of thin air. I've got to like go through it. It's either situations we've been involved in, people we've met, scenarios that we've come across, it's just life experiences. So I try to keep this brain of mine working.
Now you mentioned your connection to film. You're connected to a new film now, and it's kind of a film that's about Attention, which was your last album from 2018. Yeah. So why did you decide to go back to Attention, which obviously is a mega huge, I can't, in today's world, hundreds and hundreds of millions of streams. Yeah. Close to 1 billion. I mean, there's, a lot of streams. So why did you decide to go back to Attention and make a film out of it?
So this has been a part of the plan from day one with Attention. When we were writing the album and we were putting it together, we knew that it was going to be a story, and we knew that it was going to be a conceptual piece. So it was always the plan to show the album in its entirety visually, and to take the listener on a visual journey as well. But this was a 3-year project that we've been in the works for the entire 3 years. Our director, Bill Yukich, who actually, when we met him, he knew nothing about us. We knew nothing about him. But this guy just came in with a ferocious creativity, just the amount of creativity that he brought to the project and what he wanted to do, and how much we were synced with him, myself and Eric and Zach and Barry. He brought in this incredible cast. He brought in, the men and women behind the scenes, a lot of hardcore, real Hollywood filmmaking. There's a little bit of CGI in the film, but a lot of this stuff is all full-blown real. The stunts, the action, the amount of what's going on here. The film's narrated by me. So now, 3 years later, it has been put together in its entirety the way that it was meant to be perceived from, as you listen to the record from the beginning to the middle to the finale. Now you're going to get to visually see it. But man, it has been a 3-year journey, and working with Gravitas Ventures, who's the production company that's putting the film out for us. But this has been a wild journey, man. And with Gravitas, they were like, look, we've worked with musicians before and bands before, like with documentaries or certain greatest hits things and commentary and stuff like that. But we've never done a thing with a project with a band where the album has been out. You've already worked multiple singles. The album itself has a success on its own. And now 3 years later, you're going to show it visually in its entirety, the way it was always meant to be seen. That, to Gravitas, they thought that was pretty bold. And that's why they wanted to work with us. And, I got to give a lot of love to Atlantic Records, Julie Greenwald and Craig Kalman, Steve Robertson, everybody at Promotion, Chris Brown, our product manager, Marco Bresci, who's our director there with this project and a lot of our other projects. And Bill McGathy at Indigo, our manager, for just always believing in this band and letting us be creative and out of our minds and just kind of along for the ride. They've always allowed us to be ourselves.
When the audience leaves the theater, they'll have their own takeaways, their own favorite parts of the movie. What is Brent Smith's favorite part?
My favorite part is that it doesn't necessarily have a quote unquote ending. And what I mean by that is there's a finale, but we have this thing that we've always been very upfront with the audience about, whether they've been there from the beginning or they're just kind of finding out who we are. And that is, we don't say goodbyes in the band, even from stage. We make a point, it's never goodbye, it's just till next time. And, if you listen to Attention, that's exactly what is said at the end of the record too, as in the beginning of the film or the beginning of the record. Also, you hear, you're this door opening and you're walking in and this chair getting pulled up and you can feel this person sit down and take a deep breath, and then they exhale, and then all of a sudden the record starts. And then as you take your journey through the album, you know, from an audio side, and now you'll be able to take a visual ride as well at the very, very end of the record as well. It's, you know, you hear that same chair, the person gets up, chair moves, door opens up, and then you hear me say, "Till next time," you know. So I'm more interested of what people think about the film, like just as a visual piece now accompanying the sonic element of it, but also I'm interested in people asking us, okay, well, what do you do next? You know, because yes, we already know what we're going to do next. So that's a whole nother conversation later on down the line. But just so everybody knows, Shinedown 7 is on its way 2022. We got it, it's finished. We're in the final stages of mixing right now. First single, we're hoping for January of 2022. But yeah, with this project, with the tension, kind of becomes that thing of like, you know, wonder what they're going to do next.
Wow. Well, what you can do is probably go on tour, have the movie playing, and you guys playing the music live. I've seen, you know, artists do that, which is kind of.
Did you bug my room?
I did. I did.
Did you bug my?
Right.
Did you bug my?
That Falcon's nose. That's where the mic is.
Damn it! I knew that there was something going on. It was you the whole time. It was you.
What? Well, I know, you know, Shinedown is one of my favorite bands, and it must feel. I mean, you like to tour, so obviously you've toured around the world. You've performed on some of the biggest stages, festivals, all around the world. And so what's it like to you? What do you feel like when you're on stage singing in English in a country like Germany or somewhere where they don't speak English, but they know the words to your songs, words that you've written?
Do you want the honest answer to this?
No, I want the lie. Give me the BS. Give me the lie.
It makes me feel uneducated.
Really?
It does. It makes me, like, when we go to other countries outside of America, a lot of times, you know, especially in Central Europe, they know, you know, at minimum, they know like 3 languages. And here I am, and I'm like, I mean, I know redneck and some English, you know, like, I know, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, and don't take that the wrong way. It's just kind of one of those things where a lot of times it's an honor. It really, really is. It's overwhelming. We're so lucky to be able to travel internationally. If anything, it humbles me when I'm on stage, and you know, their dialect, and their, especially like in Central Europe, not to just, you know, kind of hone in on the men and women there, but a lot of people in Central Europe, they know at minimum 3 languages. Most know anywhere between 4 to 5 different languages. So it makes me want to go get a bunch of Rosetta Stone and like learn at least how to have a conversation of some sort with all these brilliant and beautiful countries that we go to that have these gorgeous languages.
Brent Smith is our guest. Shinedown, and Attention, Attention is the film version of the 2018 album. I know you're one of the hardest working guys in music, and you've been, obviously your success 20 years in, it's you know, clicking, it's working. You know, you guys are happy working together. You're still putting out great music. Album 7's coming out in the future. 15, Attention, Attention got 5 MTV nominations, by the way, for people who don't know that. I think it was MTV, might have been iRadio. I don't know. iHeart.
I think it's iHeartRadio.
Okay, I know they got a lot of award nominations. You've been nominated for Billboard Awards, American Music Awards, all the awards. But what's been the highlight for you? Was it the first #1 song? First time you hit #1? Was it what? What has been for Brent Smith a highlight in 20 years of Shinedown?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, hasn't happened yet.
Really? Oh, the best is yet to come. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been somebody that's fixated necessarily on material things. Like I'm a true minimalist. Like I said, like, you know, I don't even have a house. You know, I have 2 bags that I work with. So I've always been about being in the moment. And, you know, the #1 priority in my life is my 13-year-old son. And
Lyric, right? His name's Lyric?
Yeah, Lyric. And he has a younger brother by 7 years, his brother Lennon. And, you know, those 2 boys are a huge part of my world. Everything that I'm doing out here, I'm doing for them, you know, ultimately. But I think for us, you know, it does kind of come down to, I think more than anything, watching the audience grow is my biggest, not only is what it humbles me, because I played in front of, you know, listen, I played in front of 5 people before, and I played in front of 500,000 people before. I don't play for either one any different. Like, I give every single thing I have. And so does Eric, and so does Zach, and so does Barry. I mean, and when you're right, we love each other, and we still like each other, and we still ride the same bus. We fly the same planes, you know, we stay in the same hotels, you know, because we genuinely love being around one another. I think that's one thing with bands anyway, that becomes sometimes their demise, is they stop talking to each other. Right. And that's just not something we do. You know, we genuinely still want to be around one another. And I think if anything, maybe not looking at one particular thing that's happened to date, I'm always looking to tomorrow, but watching the audience grow, man, is something that is always something for me that humbles me. And I think this last run we just did, where Shinedown hadn't played in about, you know, it was roughly 500 and something days. And me and Zach had been out last year with Smith and Myers, and actually earlier this year, but Shinedown had not been out just yet. And, you know, we were nervous about would anybody be there. And it was overwhelmingly, like, I mean, there were so many people, and everything was sold out. And there was just such a camaraderie, and just a love, and just an appreciation of us all just being able to be with each other. Mm-hmm. Those are the moments that I cherish the most.
Brent Smith has been our guest here from Shinedown. Attention is in the theaters, in you know, on demand. You can get it around the world. Go to shinedown.com. That's the website, and get more details there and elsewhere. Before I let you go, I see your hands. I see tattoos, lots of artwork. Do you have a favorite story? Is there a favorite one and a favorite story that goes with that artwork?
I don't know if it would be the favorite, but here, I'll pull down just a little bit. So if you see right in here, so this is my alien baby. And so this was the first tattoo. Well, okay, technically up here, this is a cover up. Back in here, I had some stupid thing put, you know, when I was like 14 or something.
I love so-and-so.
Yeah. Or like, hi, mom. You know, so speaking of mothers, who I love very, very much, who I was actually just with a couple of days ago. So this is my alien baby. So you have to remember something. You have to take him or her, depending on the day. Basically, none of this other stuff was around the baby, and it was just the baby. And that tattoo, I walked in with that, and at the age of 17, and my mom cried for 3 days. But I told her, I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna put more stuff around it. And she was like, but as we've moved forward and she's understood why I am the way that I am, she did ask me, she was like, will you do me a favor? And I said, of course. And she was like, once I had sleeved out my left arm, and I only have Driven by Music right in here with my old school rockabilly star. And I have the word strength right here, but that's all I have on the right hand or the right arm. She was like, just let me have the right arm. Like, no more on the right arm. She was like, just so I can hold one part. And she was like, there's some skin left. So I guess that would be, you know, my family and, you know, me and my alien baby.
No plan to go Post Malone on us then, I guess.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Brent Smith is guesting our program today from Shinedown. Attention is the name of the movie. And of course, you can still get the 2018 album as well. The guys are marking their 20th anniversary together. And what a thrill, what a pleasure it is to have you on the show and to be able to talk to you. And the next time you come on, which will be for album 7 when it comes out next year, I want to see the gold record in place of that bird behind you. You put
I'll
your
be in a different
gold
location.
record. That's right. Put it up there. But thank you so much for joining us. And is there anything you want to say to the troops who might be tuned in right now? Because I know that they're working hard around the world, especially with what's been happening in the Middle East.
I just want all the men and women from every single branch of the military to know that we've been with you from day one. We'll continue to be with you from day one. Thank you for your service, but not only that, thank you for your selflessness and everything that you do. Please know that it is appreciated by us, the band, everybody that we are involved with, and that we love you dearly. And we want to also just say thank you for our freedom, because everything that you guys and you girls do is the whole reason why, we're able to be who we are. And, America owes you everything on every single level. And, we will continue to do everything in our power to support you and help you, and always keep our fists in the air for you. And we love you dearly. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Brent Smith, our guest from Shinedown, album number 7 in 2022. Right now, the focus is Attention, Attention. My name is Larry London. Thank you for your attention. You've been watching Border Crossings on VOA TV.